Hello, everyone. I'm Rob Smith, the Smith and Black channel here at Ticker Talker, and it is a tale of a couple different hours here going on today. So, there's a few things we want to point out here. And first is a Tuesday, and so on a Tuesday, you always want to see what follows through from Monday, and so that's why we do the Strat Attack show on Tuesday night. Because if you're going to be up 5 days in a row, you better be up 2 days in a row, right? And so you've heard the phrase "turn around Tuesday" before, so you always want to make sure that things follow through, right? And what follows through and what does not, right? So we came out right out the chute, coming into here. SPY goes into the highs, right? And you hear me say this oftentimes. Every 60 is like a new day to us, right? So it goes into the highs. And so anytime you go to the high, you're in exhaustion risk. You don't have any pivots to take out, nothing, right? However, then you go here. 60 is a 2 up but red, and then boom, 2-2 reversal here, right? Which takes us out. These two become an outside bar of all that, right? You see that? 2 up, 2 down. Now we got a new 60 right now. Right now, are they going to continue the selling, or are they going to bring it up? Because we had QQQ here gunning into the highs right out the chute, and we can expect that initially because of here, the inside weak to the break to the upside, right? And a lot of things are doing that, right? So you can expect that initial strength. But then here, 2 up, 2 down, boom. Here was your reversal to take it back the other way on the 60. 2 up, 2 down. Now we got a new 60. So if we start to firm up here, we might get ourselves an inside 60 in an hour from now, because most things are breaking above last week's highs, right? So that's a good thing. So the question is this corrective activity, or does it get worse? Because when it comes down to like the SPY, there was a lot of internal bad breath. And what I mean by that was the SPY was doing this, trying to hold up the Qs a little bit, right? But then you had like XLE doing this, now trying to come back off that inside 60, but it was gapping down and going down. FAS initially was weak here, right? And so when you see that kind of stuff, if you're trading the futures especially, that's something you need to know about, is watching the internals. Because the whole time this thing was rallying, I was saying, there's no breath here. This is awful. This is awful. And then you had the home builders trying to hold up here, and then they gave it up. And so it wasn't surprising that that hour just came in like that. Now, how far they're going to take them down is a whole other story. As things start to firm up, XLE firms up, FAS firms up. SMH was your winner here, right out the chute once again here on the weekly. 2 down, 2 up, right? And so with the Q's break, this wasn't surprising at all. But that internal stuff was just awful. Right? So it wasn't surprising to come in at all like this. The question is now, you got a new 60. Are they going to firm them back up and just a little what we call triangle them out? If we go to the diamonds, Dow Jones, you'll see that too. You had this here. This is today. It opened as an inside 60 and down during all that stuff. The breadth was horrible. So right now it's still an inside day, Dow Jones Diamonds. Not the end of the world. You start off the week doji land, right? But it is what it is. And so you always want to be watching all the internals. What's going on? And I can't express this enough, especially if you're trading the futures, right? And so if you go to small cappers, you had this. You're taking out yesterday's lows, right? Boom, right out the chute. That's something I'd want to know about, right? When I'm trying to gauge the market internal strength. And so it was essentially a Q break, and not the end of the world, because I mean, when we come down here, SPY's now up 19 cents. All right, so it's not the end of the world. It's just when you're going from period to period, 60 to 60 minute, noting that and saying, look, there's a lot of things falling apart here. And you had like Delta and the airlines here, right? After yesterday's strength, boom, 2-2 reversal to the downside. So one of the ways you gauge the turnaround Tuesday, if you will, and remember, that goes from week to week, that goes from hour to hour. It's not just a Tuesday thing. But is this on a Monday? What happened, right? They gapped it up. Like, all right, that's good. Now, the thing about taking this low out on a Tuesday is that changes the weekly back to red. right? 2 down, 2 up, 2 down, and that red, and then potentially that's an outside week. 1 bar rev strat. This is an inside week. So that's something I'd want to know about. That's something you want to know about. So we want to see what they do here. A good chance of some inside 60s as we start to stabilize, and that'll give us a pretty good idea of what's going on going forward. If you go to, let's go to the APES GME because it's moving around. You remember this yesterday? We had this, the rev strat, where it just collapsed, right? Inside, pokes up, boom, comes back down through. Still an inside week, but that would be the same pattern. This inside, then up. If it takes this out, because this was an inside week all the way down there. So you can see this broadening formation, expands, knocks on the door, because remember, support and resistance, if there is such a thing, is never horizontal, all right, because of time. So now you're inside on the 60. We'll see what comes out of that for the apes. Another thing that we were watching here was while the market was rallying and selling off, watching the VXX. The VXX is falling apart, all right? It has been falling apart, and it was showing us that even though there was some of that weakness, that it's not really that big of a deal, right? Still falling apart, trying to go to the lows. Maybe we get a reverse split out of UVXY coming up soon as it's down into the single digits, $6. We'll see. We like to have a barbecue every time they do that because it's so fun to trade shorts because these are deteriorating assets. So on the long side here, we got some shenanigan stuff, the SSY here, and you can see this stuck in a mother bar. We're going to be aware of that, but you just got a new 60. How's that 30 looking? There you go, inside and up off the 30 right on the new hour, which we call the flip, 564, and there you go, boom, off she goes. If we go to Lizzie, and Lizzie now an inside 30 here, which you can see that was an inside day here, having a nice run, green on all time frames when the 60 is green. So we'll see what comes of that. And Lizzie, like I said, we had that strength in the semiconductors and the Qs. And so we're going to keep an eye for the week. We're going to make sure we're watching all these things that are 2 down, 2 up, or inside and up on the week. So LRCX about 554, 52 is still there, right? Potentially an inside 30 after a lot of things got hit there, but that's with the SMHers. MU, also an inside week to the upside. So you can see that came in with the market. Now the question is how far are they going to come in? You can see them start to firm up here. Another thing you want to look for is who's going with the highs right now. eBay. And eBay's an inside week to the upside, 212, right? And so you just had the market come in, eBay didn't come in, right? That's something you want to know. We're always watching the relative performance against all the other things that are going on. AVGO, I've mentioned this. And AVGO comes in a little bit. You can see that inside 30 to the downside. Qs did that too. But still did that outside week, 2 down. Boom, we're looking to take this high at. Right there. 490.85, right? And then give me the outside month, right? Take it all up there. We'll see how that goes. Corvo. Once again, the outside week, upper middle, inside week, looking to take this out. We got it, right? And then comes in with market a bit. So you can see how the Qs did this on the 30. So here's our clue that was going to come in. The inside 30. 2 up, inside, down, right? But now we got a new 60 to keep an eye on. So we're still watching all that. If we go to NFE. And NFE, you see this inside week to the upside, and there's a lot of that, all right? That's good, and having a nice run here. Here was your inside 30, right here. Inside 30 here didn't really go, so we'll see if that sets up again. So we're starting to rally back, and then what's going on here? Yeah, not much. So once you start rallying back, we're going to look for anything taking out today's highs, this morning's highs, right? As well as the ones that have the weekly signals, because when the market comes in like this, like so, and then starts rallying back, that's where you get the guys like eBay who are short. They got what they wanted. The market backed off. So eBay didn't back off, and that's what a little thing we call stick it to them. If we go to FTCV, FTCV coming in off the 30 right now. We'll see if that sets up again. New issue, which you can see this here once the inside week to the upside and having a nice run here, but it was on the gapper. If we go to Moderna. In Moderna, inside week to the upside, which gets you back in the previous range of last month, right? Then you get the 30, backs off here, outside bar. Now we'll see if we get the inside bar on the 30. A lot of these things looking similar. That futures move was kind of caused everything to look a bit similar. We have TTD. And TTD here, inside week to the upside, right? Like a lot of things. And so you'll also hear me say, if this, then that, right? What's the next two? What will that create, negate, or do? And you might recall I talked about this here in the Strat Time report. And if you go back to this, even back further, there's a little way to stay in. So you remember this as it was happening. 3 outside, 2 down, boom, 2 back up over 582, right? So let's say you take it from 582. We're expecting it to take this out, so these become an outside bar of all that, right? Well, you got a big gain in there by now. You're up, 80, 90 points or whatever. Maybe you want to stay in. Sometimes it's hard to stay in through this stuff. So what you can do is use a parabolic stop and reverse here. And you'll see it doesn't stop out until up in here, all right? And that's $740. And then as it goes sideways, you know what it does? It forms the inside weak, and then you get back in as soon as it takes this out right here. 759.03, and you're back in 786. So that's how you do that. If you go to Home Depot trying to go to the highs right now. Don't care, right? And that's what we're looking for. Things that did not back off when the market did, right? There's no reason to expect that they would back off. AVGO is going to the highs right now, all right? There's no reason to expect this thing to back off when the market firms up, because what we're looking for here is an outside month and maybe even more, right? Because you're much closer to being an outside month than you are anything else after last week's 2 down, 2 up reversal. Home Depot. If you go to iRobot, and iRobot, just another inside week to the upside. And you got this big mother bar here in the monthly. The good thing is if this can trigger that, you get a little bit more out of it. Above 137.79. So you got a little bit more room on that. Market firming back up here again. If you go to Mondelez, and Mondelez on the month here, outside month, 2 down, 3-2. Pokes down, then goes, as soon as it goes here, outside month of this. Now looking to come up on this, because anytime you have a 3, that's what you're looking to do. This could be outside of all that, right? Because if they're willing to pay up and sell down, they might do it again. Mondelez, you can watch that with XLP. If you go to Dish, and Dish, just watching this start to firm up, nice green month. Having a nice little weaker here. You're starting off with 2 week days up like that because you've seen this. Some of these guys, Disca, still going. Viacom, I believe, is inside day to day, but you can see we've seen a bunch of that type of stuff going in Fox A, like so, inside month to the upside. If you go to the downside, you want to be careful here. Disney, and Disney here, potential 1, 2 rev strat. So Disney in trouble under 193.79. You're there right now, so I'd be keeping an eye on that because that was having some issues here. The Dow was, but we'll see. Market's starting to firm up on this flip. Boeing, once again on a Tuesday, up. That's a 2 up, and then boom, 2-2 reversal on a Tuesday. 2 up, 2 down. Right? That's something I'd want to know about, and that's weighing on the Dow a bit. Always running out of time here. There's so much to do. If you go to RNG, here's another thing we're looking for. Not strong enough to take out the inside weak here in the upper middle. Still rev strat month. Inside, up, boom, down. So as soon as this thing went red, we're looking for an outside day. We'll see if that gets worse. If we go to ZS. ZS also looking for an outside day here. So anything, tech related or whatever, when you're seeing that NASDAQ just blast off on the opening, looking for anything that stays weak. Coop, Also having some issues here. We'll see if that firms up or not. But Okta Okta also having some issues with that NASDAQ. So we'll see. Looks like RCL. Here's another one, RCL. RCL. So it's starting to firm up a bit, but this is what you're looking for on a Tuesday. Monday up, take out Monday's lows because that changes the week back red. That's always something you want to know, downside or upside. All right, so it looks like we might get ourselves a bunch of inside 60s. That's why we say mind the flip. Bottom of the hour, go through this stuff. Who has 2 days up in a row? Who has 2 days down in a row? Who was down and then taking out yesterday's high? Who was up and then taking out yesterday's low? And that's going to be the key to your success. It's going to do it for today. I'm Rob Smith. This is Mr. Black Child here at TikTok with Strat Time Report.